Yo, what's up? This is Mike Lee, and you are listening to the Lee's Fitness Unlimited podcast, live from Oakland, California. What's up, everybody? It's Mike Lee checking back in. Y'all know the deal. Lee's Fitness Unlimited podcast, season 2, episode 2. Today, what we're going to get into is a little bit of talking about diets. So in our last episode, we covered just pretty much how consistency is going to help us reach our goals, whether it be 2020 or just throughout the rest of life. So kind of coming back to that, but more specifically in terms of nutrition, it's important to get yourself on a diet that's sustainable. The reason why I say that is because there's so much information out there, so many different diets. You know, we've talked about plant-based diets, you have the keto diets, low carb, high carb, low fat. There's so many different ways and different approaches to approach how you eat. But the main thing is you just want to be eating better in general. But you want it to be realistic. So, for example, I've tried doing vegan diets, and I've been able to do it for about, the longest I've held a strictly vegan diet was about a month, and it was serious. It was rough for me because I ended up losing a lot more weight than I expected, and it really wasn't that sustainable. Although a month is a pretty long time to be, just going cold turkey on meat or anything that you used to. But it still wasn't sustainable. I ended up going back to a regular, diet with chicken and, poultry and fish and things like that. And I believe that it just wasn't sustainable about how I went about it. So through my experience and through coaching and working with others, I've learned that it's good to just change one thing at a time, so for most people, let's say you feel like you are overweight or you just experiencing, health conditions that put you at risk for, some serious disease. Start off by just cutting one thing out of your meal or adding one thing. Sometimes restricting yourself puts a lot of mental pressure on you. But I would always advise someone to first start with limiting the amount of sugar they eat. You don't have to completely cut it off, but limit it. Be aware of it. If you want to start making that jump towards plant-based diet, just start by simply adding something to your meal that is, plant, fruits or vegetables. Because some of us aren't even getting enough of the basic nutrients. So just start off by eating a salad every day, or eating a piece of fruit every morning for breakfast, and then build on that success. Eventually, you will be able to get to something sustainable. But it's all about taking those little steps in consistency towards, towards completing your goal and living an overall healthier life. And this also goes for exercise as well. So it's not completely nutrition. Basically what I'm getting at is just start little steps. Let's say your goal is to get a certain strength in your upper body, and you want to start performing more push-ups and maybe, advance that to a bench press. Let's say your ultimate goal is to be able to bench press a certain amount of weight, and you're starting off from ground zero. You may want to start off doing push-ups, reps of push-ups. See if you can do 100 push-ups a day. Once that feels, easy, then move it up to 200, and break it down into sets. So for a lot of people, if I tell you just do 100 push-ups, drop down, do 100 push-ups, that's going to be unrealistic, especially for a beginner. But if I say, give me 25 push-ups, do that 4 times throughout the day. That's more realistic and more sustainable. Or if not, if you can't even do that, start off with just 10. Find 10 times out the day to where you can do 10 push-ups. and then it will grow and grow and grow. So that's pretty much the most realistic way to meet any goal. Start small. Start small. Don't overwhelm yourself, because coming back to nutrition, this is something that you got to do every day for the rest of your life. You have to be able to eat and feed your body every day. So let's say that the new fad diet. I'm just gonna say a keto diet just for as an example. Not to have anything against it, but let's say that you are doing a keto diet, and you feel like it has its benefits, and you see that it's beneficial for you. But are you realistically going to stick to that diet throughout the rest of your lifespan? Or what is your plan? Is if it's overall to eat healthy, use that method, and mix and match, but the goal is the big picture, long term. Start with something small and build on it so it could be long term and sustainable. Same with fitness. You get a good workout plan going, you're gonna have to eventually you're gonna find yourself getting in shape. So that's the first step, going from out of shape to getting into shape. But once you're in shape, you have to be able to maintain it, because if you just let yourself get to a certain point and then stop, you're gonna end up right back where you started. I was just having a conversation with the kid in the gym today about this, about just being consistency, because I've seen so much of his progress, but he's at a place where he's kind of not in the gym as often as he once started, and he's starting to plateau in certain areas. That doesn't mean that it's too late. That doesn't mean that he can't get back to his routine, but it's about sustainability. Once you learn and develop skills, especially when it comes to your health, you got to be able to sustain them. Just like in boxing, a boxer that doesn't train is obviously not going to be as good as a boxer that is training. I don't care if you can naturally fight or not. The fighters or boxers that have sustained a good weight limit in between fights, they tend to, just feel better on fight day, as opposed to someone that has dropped so much weight to make this expectation for the fight. After the fight, they put on about 30 pounds. And then when the next fight comes up, they're trying to drop that weight again. As opposed to someone that's just pretty much walking around comfortably at the weight that they're at. So that's one of the things about Floyd Mayweather that a lot of people may overlook, or when you get to talking about Floyd Mayweather in boxing, it's a lot of his characteristics that are overlooked for whatever reason. People would rank him as one of the highest, one of the best ranked boxers within the last decade for sure. But what are the little things that he does well? He's been able to sustain a certain training regimen and diet throughout the course of his career, which is why he was able to fight, at the age that he's fought. He's fought over 40 years old. And there's a reason for that. He hasn't been one of those guys that jumped up and down within his weight in between fights, At least not nothing too dramatic, too heavy. And that's just an example, So, and the reason why I use that is because, a lot of our viewers are into boxing, as this is a boxing program. But, it could go for anything. Whatever you don't use, you're going to lose. So I don't care if you developed anything in life. You could have a PhD of education, but if you stop trying to learn after you receive that degree, you're only going to limit yourself. So in all areas of your life, it's about sustainability, being able to maintain what you have, and that way you can progress and feel good about the progress that you have made. I see a lot of people, those that aren't as consistent in and out of the gym, and when they come back after a long layoff period and they're out of shape, you can just see the look in their face. They're ashamed of themselves because they've let themselves fall out, and fall off of where they once were. If that is you, don't get too down on yourself. But yes, it's good to have that reality check that you obviously let yourself go. But it's never too late to get back on what you were doing and get yourself together. So pretty much, any area of life, you got to be able to maintain what you're doing. That's what I'm getting at. If y'all set goals for 2020, this is towards the end of January now. We're getting towards the end of the first month of the year. Where are you on your goals? Have you fallen off already? Have you been able to sustain what you've been doing? If you have been able to sustain it, what do you think has been the reason for that result? If you have not, what was your reason for falling off? Because as we mentioned before, most New Year's resolutions are by Valentine's Day. Most people fall off of that plan. And as we're approaching that, it's good to just be mindful of what it is that you're truly trying to get at, and how can you be consistent within your own way and be realistic about it in your lifestyle. I'm going to use the plant-based diet again as an example. There are some people that believe plant-based diet is the best thing for them, and it may be. But they may have a lifestyle where they're not always at home to cook, or they don't all have the specific time to prepare a good meal. And that can be a challenge in itself, because there aren't a lot of vegan restaurants out. If you eat out all the time, you're going to struggle to get the types of food that you're looking for, because the options are just so limited. There are McDonald's and Taco Bell and Jack in the Box, almost every other corner, every other block, and that's easy to get to. But in terms of, there ain't that many vegan restaurants, out here in Oakland. There are more that are popping up, but you're not going to find a vegan restaurant in every neighborhood. So you have to prepare yourself for that and make your lifestyle more sustainable, So if that's your case, your issue, you're going to have to find a way to maybe prep food at night and just have it ready for you in the morning before you leave, or find something that's going to be sustainable for you. I can't really say one specific thing, because we all live different lives. We all have different schedules and different goals. But the main thing is for each and every one of you to do is find that sustainability, find that consistency, and continue to build and continue to grow. And that's all I'm getting at right now. Continue to grow, show progress, do better, be better. As long as you want to be better and take small steps every day towards something that you want to get better at, it will happen. Guaranteed. If you're one of those people that has fallen off of your New Year's resolution, don't feel too bad. Just get back to it. It's about the long haul. Can you meet the goal that you've had for the year? Because we're only really 1 month into the year, and you still have 11 more months to correct it. Don't wait until December, but it's time to get on it now. And it will carry on to other aspects of your life. So that's the message from Coach Lee today. Be consistent and find sustainability in everything in your lifestyle. Start small and build and build and build. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop a comment. If you liked the video and you felt like this was, good information for you, please subscribe. And, you guys can shoot me an email or, however you want to get your questions into me. I'm open to helping everybody that I can, because each one help one, and then we're gonna see better community. With better communities, we'll see a better world. So that's gonna be it for today. Make sure you guys follow us on social media platforms at Leave Fit Unlimited. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Leave Fit Unlimited. Be sure to follow us and follow this journey. If you've been struggling to find a health coach or a mentor, hopefully I can help regardless of where you are in the world. That's the whole purpose of doing these videos. I may not have access to you on a day-to-day basis, but if I could just drop a gem that you can take with you, throughout your life, and if it's helpful, that's what I'm here for. So that's it for this episode of the podcast. Until next time, we're going to be out. Peace.